Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is the last Sunday in January, so it is time for the last video of January. Can you believe it's already the end of January? I can't. Did everybody have a good week? Awesome, that's really, really good to hear. Alright, well, time for the weekly video. I can talk. I decided I'm going to do my February plans a little differently because we've got so many sales going that are one day, especially with the Winter Olympics one. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm only going to I'm going to go it week by week. So that's how I'm going to do this one. There are a couple of things that will be established that are going to be the permanent sort of things, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So, we have a little bit of Q&A. I do have haul. It was my Stitchybox anniversary countdown box, and I opened everything all at once because I couldn't stop myself, and it's awesome. However, because I know there are people out there who bought it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that for the end, so that way if you don't want to be spoiled, you won't be spoiled. So, we'll hold that for the end. Alright. So, I guess first things first, we'll do the good old Q&A. And then we'll do whip updates, and then I'll show off the box. And discuss plans. So the first question comes from Jody Bedard, and she was wondering if I've ever used Atali threads from France. And my answer there is no. She said she bought a chart from Madame Chantilly on Etsy, and it uses some of them. There are DMC conversions, but they're not variegated, so it won't look the same as the picture. They are available on Casa Sanina, but it's not on Etsy, and it's in Italy. There are a couple of, and she'd like to know my thoughts. There are a couple of things you can do. If they've got the DMC conversions, you can always look up a DMC to Weeks Dye Works or to Gentle Arts conversion and go that route. That's always an option. If you want to specifically use the Atali, I can honestly say I've ordered from Casa Sanina before. Shipping was a little on the expensive side, but it shipped very fast, it got here fast, because they use DHL, so that's why it's a little pricier. But I had my order in 2 days, so, you know, I would personally feel comfortable ordering from them again, so, if that helps any. Grace Patane has two questions. First, she'd like to know where I get the amazing fabrics that I use in my projects. I get them generally from two specific places. Most of my fabrics are either Under the Sea Fabrics, actually technically I get them 3 places, but I'll explain in a second, which is just undertheseafabrics.com. I also get from Ship's Manor, which is shipsmanor.com. Leslie is a full-time fabric dyer. It's her full-time job. She usually has about a 3 to 4 week turnaround. Of course, a lot of that does depend on is the dye she needs on her, sometimes on suppliers. So, like, she had a big issue with fabric back in November and December because of the supplier. So, she's very good to update in her group and let you know what's going on if there's an extra delay. But she's totally, totally wonderful. Ship's Manor only dyes during the first week of every month. That's the only time the orders are open. He is also no longer keeping a stock set of colors. He's going to go to doing one-off colors, with the exception of, I think, 3 or 4, and then the fabric of the months. And then I also get a lot of my fabric from Stitchybox, because your Stitchybox always includes some fabric. So, and then that's kind of a random assortment of things. She also says she's amazed at how many whips I have going at one time. How do you know where you are on each project and where to start when you pick it up again? Well, for one, I usually set goals. So I know what my goal is for it. And I generally work in either pages or in sections. I don't just randomly pick it up, stitch in a random spot, and then come back later. I don't do full coverage pieces, which I'm sure makes that significantly easier. Because I don't like full coverage pieces. I get bored by them like that. So that's how I'm able to do that. Nancy Rosser asks, what's Adopt a Whip and how does it work? Adopt a Whip is a Facebook group. You post your whip, you can either, and you've got a couple of options. Either the seller or the person who gets it pays shipping, or you pay shipping to them. You decide if it's going to include all the threads, just specialty threads, no threads. Obviously it has to include the fabric, it's got to include what you've started and the pattern. That's really the only set requirement. You can request that the person who finishes it sends it back to you when it's done, or if it's just one that you don't like, you don't really care about anymore, you can say, you know what, here, have it, it's yours, please to enjoy. Beaker Sanute asks, how do you decide the fabric you will use when you choose a pattern? Sometimes I do a floss toss, like if I don't know what I want. Generally, I already have a pretty good idea of what I'm looking for when I pick a pattern. So that's kind of how I decide. But a lot of the time, sometimes I'll do floss tosses. If it's a Mirabilia, I'll use the viewer pretty consistently, because that's a really good way to pull that one off. Megan Harper asks, where do I sign up for Fabric of the Month? Leslie's, which is Under the Sea Fabrics, I don't believe hers is currently taking new members, but it'll be on her website. Ship's Manor does it differently. He dyes two colors. He does a primitive and a non-primitive. The primitive is usually more muted and less mottled. And you just go and you purchase it during the first week of the month. That's really all you do there. He doesn't do the auto-billing because he said that made it more stressful for him. So, that's how you do it. Alright. So, that's it for the Q&A. Now, as you'll remember, hopefully, the Christmas year-long sale this week, I worked on my stocking. This is Richard's stocking by Shepherd's Bush, and I finished up his bag. So, the next time I work on it, I'm going to try and finish up at least, obviously I'm going to his coat will be finished up, I'm going to try and finish the pants. So, that's where I'm at on this. So, next week at work is going to be Great Cheshire Moon Sal. Alright, then, I did not work on Sizzle in Summer because I decided to go ahead and start the Legendary Creature Sal from Cloud's Factory. So here is the first part. I'm doing this on a 32 count Ocean Drive. It was the May 2015 Fabric of the Month for Die Stitch Love, who is no longer dyeing fabric. I would assume she's not dyeing, but she's not dyeing fabric either. In fact, I'm not entirely sure she's even still on Facebook, period. But here's what I got done. It was L and M, which was Leprechaun and Medusa. So I did... I did make a few small changes. For one, I only had one of the week's dye works. So instead of Moss, I'm using Signature Green by LJ. Instead of Aqua, I'm using Really Tealy. And instead of Turkish Red, I'm using Ruby Slippers. I did have Chris's Bonbon. And then I added some Krynic. So, the only one in this one is the Moss. I also left out their names. I'm not sure if I'm going to do those or not. But I added Metallic, obviously, I used Krynic for the gold in the Leprechaun and the rainbow. And then for the snakes in Medusa's hair. So there they are. And then her Medusa's cheeks were actually supposed to be done in sort of an apricot color, the same color as that. But I went with 729 because I thought since she's a snake, yellow would be the more likely undertone. So there it is. So it's super sparkly, and that doesn't really pick up on the video, of course, but it looks really good. So I'm very curious to see what February brings. I'm not even too sure which direction she's going. Is she going to go up? Is she going to go down? Who knows? Alright, and then I decided since I was super close to a finish, I was going to work on Legend of the Blue Sea by Soda Stitch. So I got the dark pink in her tail done, the medium pink in the tail done. I'm almost done with the light pink. Then it'll be the white, and then I've got some seaweed and some fish. So I very well may finish this today, but if not, it'll be a finish tomorrow. So I'm super, super close. And I'm doing this on Caribbean Tides Lugana, Opal Lugana, from Under the Sea Fabrics. With all the called for DMC. So yeah. So that is the WIP updates. Pardon my slurping. Okay, so Friday and Saturday are obviously February 1st, or Friday and Saturday are the first 2 days of February. So I will be starting on the next section of Fairy Tale Land. I'm going to jump over to pattern number 1, and I'm going to work on Little Red Riding Hood. So that'll be the first one up. So in terms of the monthly goals, or monthly plans, it's, obviously that's what I'll do for Soda Stitch. Halloween and Christmas will remain every other week doing Cheshire Moon and the Stocking. Next month's Tour de Designer is Frosted Pumpkin. So story time is going to do for it. And apparently I'm being visited by some puppy bears. Or maybe not. You might be seeing puppy bears in a second. I may try and flip the camera around so you can see them. Hello, puppy bears. Hello. Hello. Let's see. Here's the Whammy Bear. Boop. There's the Whammy Bear. And let's do the camera flip. There's the Phoebe Bear. There she is. Hi, Phoebe Bear. Yay, puppy bears. And Phoebe just snorted. Silly bears. We usually open the door if one of us has to leave and she had to go step out for something, so that way the dogs can get to me. Yay, puppy bears. Okay, so Tour Day Designer is story time, which is also going to be my Work That Whip. I work on it every month on the 15th. My new start next month is going to either be the Lizzie Kate Green series or Grandma's Kitchen from Soda Stitch. It's going to be, or Garden. It's going to be one of the two. It's the Foodie Sal. And I don't remember where Eat Locally falls in the Lizzie Kate Green. So that's why. If Eat Locally is one of the middle ones, I may go ahead and start that because I really do want to start that one. But those are the only, that's the only part so far in the first 2 days of February. So next week I'll have a little more for you. I will also be reading The Tin Woodman of Oz over on my OzTube channel. So, and I just did my Lost Princess of Oz video, so if you like the OzTube videos, the newest one's up. So, alright, so now we're going to do the Stitchybox Rustic Wedding Anniversary. So those of you who don't want to have that spoiled, head on out, and I'll see y'all next week. And those of you who do, stick around for a second. I'm going to take another couple sips of coffee, and then we'll get started. Okay, so first off, I just want to throw out there that this is one of, I think this is actually the best box Liz has ever put together. I think it's absolutely fabulous. I know she's got a couple still left. I don't know if this is going to be one that she'll offer again or if this was just a one-off. But if this is the way the rest of her boxes are going to go, I'm really sad that I can't afford more because they're fabulous. I'm not going to do these in any particular order of date because they're just sort of in the box. So we'll just go as I get them. So this one is... yes. I'll tell you what they are. This is a yard of the Vanilla Lady Dot Chenille finishing material. Let's see, we've got a skein of the Kreinik Silk Mori. This is number 0433A, and it's one that it's sort of green, but it's sort of gray, and it's sort of brown, so it's going to depend on what you're stitching with as to how it reads. We've got some 4mm cat's eye beads in silver gray. How many of these are there? Because I actually think they're going to go into my mermaid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 20 pieces. I definitely have enough. Well, that's what that's going to do. Those are going into my mermaid. Which means I actually want to put that whole thing with it, so that way when I do my final write-up, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this next one is some beautiful Matsuno 11O seed beads. They are transparent rainbow light blue, and they do have sort of a different... There's some light blue, some purple, some yellow, some orange. They're really pretty, and I'm not sure that's going to pick up at all. Oh, yeah, it kind of does. So these are super pretty. Let's see. Got a skein of Natural from Dinky Dyes. It's just a nice white. This was the Something Old, in the, because there's something old, something new. This is Shaded Sands from Gentle Arts. Which means I've got more of that somewhere. This is one of the patterns. It's You Plus Me from Heart and Hand. So, and it calls for Gentle Art. Actually, I think I have all those colors. I may even have fabric for it. That may be a mania start. And unfortunately, this one doesn't have a name, but it's this box's Gentle Arts, Something New. It's sort of a purpley gray, a little like River Rock from Weeks Dye Works, but more lavender pinky. I need to find out what its name is. Let's see, some more beads. These are Opaque Light Khaki Delica 11Os. Okay, this is 32 count Cocoa Linen from Weeks Dye Works. A 32nd, which actually would be perfect for that You Plus Me from Heart and Hand. This may be a fat 16. Does the little insert say? It does not. I think it's a 16. Alright. Got 2 Mother of Pearl Hexie tiles. More beads. These are Precocia Bicone Crystals and Crystal Honey. There's 20 pieces. They're sort of a light rose gold. They're looking a little more yellow than they are in real life. Alright, some of my favorite type of fabric. 32 count Petite Point with white polka dots. I love this stuff. If I could have afforded it, I would have liked to have done Farmhouse Christmas on those. But, okay, let's see. Oh, we've got more stuff coming. Okay. This one is kind of cool. It is a bamboo box. So, cute little bamboo box. It actually might make a nice little orc collector. We've got this one, this bag I kind of mutilated. It's some rose gold and white twine for finishing. Some E6000. 2 Swarovski crystals. They're 6mm. They're beautiful. A beautiful heart-shaped locket. You know, I've never owned a locket. I guess now I do. Okay, let's see. We'll do... Day 1 is the Bridegroom Heart Sneak Peek. It's the something borrowed, and it's borrowed from an upcoming design, and I'll hold it back so you can... That's what it looks like. It's part of a new edition of Needleprints chart collection, Bridegroom Hearts. And it comes from the Swedish tradition of embroidering hearts on Brudgumsskjortor, bridegroom's shirts. So that was something. So you've got something old, something new, and those light blue beads may have been the something blue. Then it also included, and this is just gorgeous, the Summerhouse Stitchworks A Baltimore Bride pattern. I think that's beautiful. So I'm super excited to do this. So, I've never done anything by Summerhouse before, so this will be fun. Let's see. Oop. Ah, yes, here's the something blue. Babbling Brook Belsoir from Classic Colorworks. Lovely blue color. Oop. Some tiny wood heart buttons. Ta-da! Here are some seed beads in opalescent white gold lust ivory. Hello, little Phoebe. Keeping an eye on her, because it may almost be time for bathroom break. Some Toho transparent Rosaline seed beads. These are beautiful. Very Glinda-ish. Much pinker than they're showing up. Let's see if that helps. A little. They're very pretty. Not yet. Almost. A Cut-Up's decorative wood ornament. So, nice and cute. Okay, we've got 4 more to go. So I'm going to really quickly sort of move some stuff off of my lap. The amazing thing is she gets these all in one box. How does she do it? Okay. We've got some, similar to the twine, some rose gold opal burlap. This one is really cute. It's a little heart-shaped key charm. I'm kind of thinking I may, because I want to use some of my charms, I may see if I've got anything oceany that I can put in my Soda Stitch Mermaid over there. Alright, cultured freshwater pearls in pink. Those are super pretty. They're a little too small for me to be able to use in my mermaid. Otherwise, I probably would. And then finally, a small strip of woven ribbon in the rose gold and white. Looks like it's supposed to be done this way, but it's neat enough you could probably use the other side too. So, nice little bit of finishing trim. So that is this week's video. I hope everyone has a great day, a great week, a great end to your January, and I will see you all in February.